or something. It just didn't. It was just, it would screw up the camera. So Zoom is what it is. This is what we got. All right. And here we go. Live. Pre-show, Rants of Izzo here on Spreely Media. Spreely.com. Man, you guys act like I've never been fucking live before. Holy shit. All right. This is the Rants of Izzo show. We're here on Spreely Media. And you guys can support the show by sharing the show. If you're watching on one of your favorite platforms, great. We no longer stream live to a certain other kind of platform because I'm not doing that, but I will upload. If you're enjoying this content, go to Spreely.com, Spreely.com. That's Speak Freely, right? It's an app that you actually could say shit without being censored. So the stuff that I would be apprehensive or worried about saying on other platforms, I don't give a fuck about on Spreely because that's our voice. And it's shared, and it's endorsed, and it's supported by a bunch of people who have the like-minded mentality of, hey, say what you want because it's a free fucking country. Well, it is. For now, at least. Spreely.com, if you go there on your Safari or your phone, you could actually download the Freedom Hub app, all one word, Freedom Hub, and you can interact and watch other shows like the Burn Pit Podcast, Report and Opine, The Dumb Show, Shannon Joy Show, and many others. Podcasts, swag, a ton of shit. You guys got to go there and check it out. Kayla from Flex Your Feminine is joining today. Why don't you plug some stuff you're working on, please? We love it when you do.
Yeah, go check out my Inner Court. It's my exciting offer right now where you guys can get one-on-one kind of VIP access to me with weekly check-ins without so much of the VIP price tag. So go check that out on my website. You can find that easily in my link in bio for my Instagram.
Good. Lots going on today. We have a ton to talk about. Phones are open as well, too. There is the chat, which everybody who wants to chat, you can go and get involved with on Telegram, Rants of Izzo Show, or we got the phones open now. We're starting to do that a lot more often. 708-982-0974. If you're watching, you see the bottom of the screen. Call in. You got something you want to say? Text too. I don't care. We'll read it on air. You want to leave a voice note? You could do that too.
Very cool.
I don't have my glasses on. In the chat, Sarah Nichols, what's going on in the chat? Amy Stancombe, Carly B, Bev, wherever you are, April Schoen, Jen Giggles, what's going on, kids? That's what we have. All right. 13 seconds, and we're at it. Friday show, closing out the week.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on this show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Hey, America, happy fucking Friday. Say it while you can. Enjoy it while you can. Your free speech, all that shit. We're going to hell in this country. I don't even know if we are. This is the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely Media. Got sitting with my co-pilot today is Kayla from Flex Your Feminine, who has not been... Dude, we've been off the last couple of weeks, so I appreciate you taking the time off and enjoying, but welcome back, dude. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Appreciate you.
Get right into it. This country's so fucked, dude. This country's so fucked. By now, for those who haven't seen, I'm smoking a cigar yesterday, and I'm like, okay, here comes the Trump verdict. And I was watching some other network, and All of a sudden it's like, oh, this just in, all 34 counts that Trump was convicted on. And it really didn't, it didn't bother me because we're at the day and age now where like street cred is important and fucking, dude, Trump is the branding master. I mean, his arrest is going to be more infamous than like Sinatra's or any of these A-list wannabe gangster rap artists who are like, man, I got hit.
Well, look at his mugshot. His mugshot went viral in like 0.3 seconds.
I know. It's so awesome. The couple different issues, because the American in me kind of took a step back and went, shit, let's examine why this is really shitty for America. The stupid fucking Democrat liberals who are they're masturbating and just shooting their fucking loads all over themselves over something so inconsequential as what Trump was arrested for. I mean, this makes Capone's tax evasion laughable beyond belief. The problem
or Hunter Biden's tax evasion.
Well, he was
I mean, tax evasion.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing that they're going to get him for, right? I mean, I can't, you can't have a conversation with these people and explain, listen, on the grand scale of, like in Illinois, we have misdemeanors going all the way from, was it Class C, Class B, Class A misdemeanor. Then when it's felony, it's Class 1, 2, 3, 4, and then X, all that. This is like your neighbor. You hate your neighbor so bad. Your neighbor lets their dog shit in your yard. Your neighbor steals your mail. Your neighbor has broken into your home. And a cop comes by and finally, like the cop's like, man, well, the one thing I can do is I can give your neighbor a $75 village ordinance ticket for letting their grass grow above 8 inches because they haven't mowed it in 3 weeks. And you're like, fuck, yes, do it. Oh my God, justice has finally been served. That's the scale of what they got Trump on and what the Democrats are celebrating. I think we need to begin there and show that these people, they're not our enemy. They're our fucking little retarded brothers and sisters that maybe we need to be empathetic for. Am I right on that? Or is it just fuck them and we need to eradicate the nation of these idiot liberals?
Well, I don't think all liberals are idiots, but I think there are idiot liberals. And I think that if we look at the agenda here, it is much more leaning toward, well, and I used to believe this like point blank, black and white, but the agenda is definitely leading towards liberal, hyper progressive beliefs, right? But I think a lot of us are aware that the whole political system is really just two wings of the same bird. So I think that there's evil on both sides of the aisle that needs to be eradicated, and that is our enemy here. It's not liberal or progressive, that's our enemy, or even, the 2,500 letter mafia, that's our enemy here. It's evil, and evil is on both sides of the aisle. It's pushed itself into every facet of society and culture in the world because that's the Babylonian system. So
I think the stupidity lies in conservatives who think that it's like, okay, it's fair game now. When our side gets back in power, they're going to now arrest Joe Biden. It's that really immature, ignorant, vengeful energy that's just all based in fear and scarcity. And that's how the ping pong ball keeps going back and forth across the table. Right. That's how we got here. So, there's much, much more at play here that we don't see. And it's not like Dom and I have all the answers either, but I think we see things a little bit more objectively than some others that I watch content from, where it is like the ping pong ball. Now it's our turn to serve, and it's just, oh my God, how is that ever going to accomplish anything? That's literally how we got here. There has to be a complete reconstruction of what we view and think of as a functional society and what that's actually made of. What's the foundation of that? What are the values? Because that's how this system has gotten so off course. Yeah, we absolutely let this get here. And
yeah,
I've been talking about this for weeks. When we're talking to other guests on the show. It's like this petty. We think that this petty. Oh, they got Trump, but we're gonna get Biden in return is actually gonna do something. And I made a statement today, and I'll have to make this statement profoundly more because I fucking said it on a written word, and I don't think that's fair enough. So I'm gonna make I'll make this declaration better as I cue up this, right? Oh, come on, for the love of God. I'll have to do this the right way. 3, 2, and 1. Attention. My name is Dominic Izzo, and I'm a retired police officer from here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. And over the last several years on social media, I've hidden my patriotism underneath the guise of trying to keep the peace along every political line possible. I'm now declaring today that 100%, without any reservation whatsoever, I will exercise my right as a patriot who is free, God-fearing, and American-loving to use the threat of violence, the force of violence, the fucking righteousness of unbelievable, unrelenting fucking violence against any tyrannical entity that is a foreign or domestic enemy of this nation, that is the United States, that I live, love, breathe, and serve. In other words, I'm a fucking patriot, and I'm tired of all this shit that's going on. And if called to by our righteous, voted-in leaders of this government, I will fucking go to war and unleash hell on any enemy of this motherfucking country. There you go. That's my declaration. I hope that came through clear enough.
It did.
Good.
I think it was very fucking clear.
I'm so tired of this. And I thought about it today too, how many of us are on social media. And, you know, it's not a fear. I try to play smart because sadly I play very emotional all the time. And when I watched the first social media purge back in 2019, the CEO of Spreely TV had 11 Facebook pages of each over 1 million followers apiece, and just got wiped out. We saw people like Joe Biggs, who's sitting in prison right now. He had 500,000 people gone. Back then, Outlaw Morgan, 1 million followers gone. So a lot of us went, all right, we got to be careful because social media, it's how we didn't make I don't make my money on social media, but it's my funnel for contacts. And then the 2020 purge, I survived that. I saw so many people get wiped out. And I'm like, fuck it. What am I playing safe for? For some electronic bullshit that I can't exercise or I'm worried about, the federal government showing up to my door. No, I started to think, I'm single for a reason. I never had kids for a reason. I'm able-bodied. I'm combatively trained for a fucking reason. It needs to be known. It needs to be known, dear government, I will, if called properly by elected officials that I support who serve this nation and this Constitution and the people the way it's supposed to, I will put my services at their behest, bequest, whatever it is, and I will fucking fight against whatever enemy poses a threat to our nation. I will gladly put on the line my skill set, my mind, my body, and my fucking action behind my words. And I'm tired of not saying that. I'm just fucking tired of it.
Well, and at this point, our own government is the enemy of the people. I think that's abundantly clear.
I don't get how
if it's not abundantly clear, I don't know what rock y'all have been living under.
I don't get how people can't see that the precedence is set for, and you liberals, it's a fight for them as well too, because we're supposed to safeguard the weak and the weak-minded, and they just can't see. It's like, how do you not understand that the game that you're supporting, they're going to play against you? Lawfare is this new term that's going around a lot. It's an old term, but it's going around a lot more, where prosecutors have the right, it's not the right, it's the ability to single out who they want, then go find the fucking crime. Cops do that all the time. Oh, there's a car I want to stop. Well, that's Joe Shit the Ragman I don't want to stop. I'm going to look for a violation for him to do so I could pull him over. So how do these liberals not understand that years. You think this is only going to be one-sided? At what point do they go, all right, Joe, I don't care. Joe voted blue the last time. We need money. So we're gonna arrest Joe and charge him with something he did back in 2014. And there you go. I don't get how they think that they're going to be immune from this unbelievable prosecutory evil in our fucking nation. I don't know.
Well, it's arrogance, and it's also that they've played chess for a long time, while keeping the rest of us distracted, a lot like in Roman times. And they have the power that's necessary to not have to be worried about these things. So they think. They don't fear the people anymore. They don't fear the system because they own the system, and they've rigged the system to be what they need it to be to bring forward their agenda.
Yeah, sadly, the liberals that support them, they don't have, they're gonna get discarded.
They're ignorant. They don't have a clue.
You ever see that the meme of the SUV that's going down the street and the doors open and it's like it infers that a woman was kicked out and she's like rolling on the street, and it's always like it's either BLM or the black community after an election, right? Because it says you got used for this and then we no longer need you. I just don't get it. Sadly, there's a ton, and Chicago's a great example of the lack of Republican leadership, Republicans, period, here. I've said this for years. If you look at all the Chicago area election, you'll never see a Republican that's running against anybody. And the Republican Party flat out said, well, we don't want to encourage other people to come out to vote that are Democrat. We're just not in a position we can win. But you'll see, like the last two mayoral elections, like the young Republicans of Chicago have supported their choice of mayor, who's a Democrat. So I don't, on both sides, and I don't know what this is going to fucking take. And I think, to be honest, like if I'm going to back up what I said, which is, I'm going to go to war. I will 100% do that. I will sacrifice my well-being, my comfort, my way of life for the freedom of generations that are to come. I'm not going to lie. I really wish that the red heifer would be sacrificed and Wormwood hit with all that. And we would fucking have that before I die. That'd be much better. Because I don't want to, part of me is also selfish. I don't want to fucking die knowing that I paved the way for another 50 generations when it's like, man, but it's an obligation. It's an obligation. It's a fucking calling. Where am I going with this? Where the hell was I talking about? I was talking about,
well, the reality is that even if you did sacrifice yourself for the next generations, like at the end of the day, you're going to come back with Christ and enjoy his 1,000-year reign of peace.
I know that too.
There's nothing that we can, like, literally, and this is where I kind of got to yesterday. Like, my best friend called me after the verdict dropped, and first thing out of her mouth was, how fucked are we? And I'm like, we both started laughing because we both, like you and I, believe in Christ and his promises and all of that. So we kind of just reverted back to that. And it's not, I used to think that it's such a cop out, like people that are praying are on their knees. They're not standing ready to fight, and it's true. And it's not true at the same time, because it's like, what better way to fight than against the principalities that we can't see, like the enemies that we can't see that are just moving around humanity like pawns on a chessboard. Instead of fighting the pawns, let's go for the ones that are actually controlling the game board,
Yes, and this is the point that I was trying to make that I lost track of. You can't have the inmates run the asylum, and leadership is crucial. And over the last several months, I have said the one thing that is keeping me from being all in militia mindset, this and that, is who the fuck do we follow? Because the problem is you've got all of these blue checkmark influencers who won't step up to the plate, and the ones who are batshit fucking crazy. So when the smoke settles, it'll be the United States of follow me or I'll decapitate you. So I think this needs to start not at Trump. It needs to start at the level, if it's to be taken seriously, of the people like DeSantis, the people like Jim Jordan. Marjorie Taylor Greene's a little bit too fringy, and I'm not going to lie, I would not follow a female in the fucking battle. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I want to see like a Jim Jordan get up in Congress when it's a session and go, fuck pick up a chair and start just smashing over the heads of fucking Democrats and go, it's on, bitches. If I saw that, I would go, where do I sign? Because now we have the proper elected leader who is putting himself in a position to, that's war, dude. That is, all right, I am willing to give up the money I make, the position of power I have, split, and I've declared my war. I mean, right over the head of fat fucking Jerry Nadler's head or up the ass of Nancy Pelosi. I don't care. I want to see our elected officials make the first stand, and it cannot be Trump.
It won't be. No. It won't be our elected officials. I honestly don't believe that we have the majority of anyone seated in office right now as honestly elected by the people. They were positioned. So if we have that stance, it cannot start from the top and then we, excuse me, from the top down. It just doesn't work that way. This country was founded, this republic was founded on we the people, and it's a grassroots movement. It has to start at the local level. It has to grow from the bottom up, lay a new foundation, or new to us because we haven't been fucking doing the old way. It's like the Old and New Testament. You know, the old becomes new because we just weren't doing it.
It's a problem.
When Christ came to fulfill the Old Testament, he taught all the Old Testament prophecies and laws, but a lot of it sounded really new to people because they just weren't doing it. And that's where we are in our country right now, is we've lost our way because we let go of the old ways. And so now it's going to be going back to the old, and it's going to feel new because we've never done it that way before. And that's honestly the only way I see this turning around. And my fear is that, I don't know if fear is the right word, but my sobering thought is that I just don't know that the American people are aware and awake enough. I don't know that we've hit the quote unquote precipice for them to understand that or see that. We're too distracted by the system that has put us in a position of slavery where we're stressed out about paying bills and keeping roofs over our heads and watching the fucking Kardashians, you know, and to even consider this type of stuff that we're talking about.
One of the biggest problems is social media as well, too. What a fantastic way to instantaneously find your people, to put your voice out. But again, too, what a threat to have that taken away. Right? How many? And again, I've said this a million times. I had a Facebook page when I first really started doing social media in 2015. I had a Facebook page that had 100,000 followers, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest!" This, that, and I racked up towards the end 32 30-day bans in a row. It's like I would get out 3 days later. Here's another ban. And I didn't give a shit. So for fucking that's how many years is that?
Years,
right? I'm like, I just don't care anymore. But for the first 5 years or 6 years, I was like, holy shit! If I ever lost this, oh my god! And I got locked out of my Instagram account earlier this week. And,
that's right.
And I'm like,
yeah, I saw that.
I was like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, literally it phased me for 3 seconds. I'm like, I don't care. I don't fucking care. So what?
Yeah.
So I think that you have to reach that point because, again, and I don't mean to keep picking on him, but I'll pick on David J. Harris Jr. I just don't have any respect for him. He is somebody who's in a fantastic position of influence, who all he does is post other people's shit. And then when a crisis arises, he'll make a fucking T-shirt out of it, sell the T-shirt, then move on to the next thing. Where's your fucking balls and skin in this game? When are you saying, all right, X amount of millions of you follow me, I will lead you to this. I will lead you to that. I will be willing to take the hit to lose my social media account to ensure others' fucking freedom. He doesn't do, and there's a lot of people like that. So I don't know.
There's a lot, because the whole truther community really turned into like crisis chasers. You know, it's like they're just profiting off of the fear mongering, which is just another looshing spiral that the enemy is just laughing all the way to the bank about. Like, oh, look, we got the truthers to start doing our own agenda, and they don't even think they're a part of it. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. People are, again, it's another divide, distract, conquer tactic. It works with people because they know our psychology better than we do.
They've been data collecting for fucking years.
Yeah.
They know everything.
And beyond data collecting, like our enemy understands the software system that is humanity, the way that God designed us. They understand it very, very well. Satan was there at the creation of man. He understands our system. He understands the world around us, how we relate to our environment. He understands our genetic makeup. He understands that we are the image bearers of God and what that means way more than we do because we haven't been taught it and people aren't hungry enough to go work hard and dig for gold to start to understand it.
I have to wonder.
Like, when you're in a war, because that's literally what we're in, when you're in a war, and it's psycho-spiritual warfare 24/7, 365, your entire life from the moment you were born to the moment that you croak. And you don't even know the weapons that are being wielded against you are your own mind and body and systems.
I have to wonder,
what are the chances?
Going back to the system, how much of this was perfectly planned, and they're laughing at someone like me, right? It's like, this is what it takes to beat the ground to get the snakes to come out and go, oh, look, we just identified another one, Izzo.
Yeah.
That was his breaking point. This is what he said, where he finally said, yes, I will go to war. I will do this. Oh, now we can put him on a list or whatever. I have to wonder if they know exactly what they're doing with the positioning of this. I saw a video.
They want reactions. It's all energetic farming. They want reactions. They want your fear. They wanted the 34 counts yesterday coming out and Trump being, victimized. They wanted to harvest energetic reactions from the entire population because it was an incredibly charged process. And so whether it was elation and happiness about it and celebrations going on the left about it, or it was freaking crying in your living room and freaking out and you're scared that your door is going to get kicked in now by the, Joe's Mafia. It's all energy that they're harvesting.
Dude, talk about that for a second, because I didn't think about that, right? You've talked many times about frequency, vibration, energy. So yesterday with the verdict, you had a ton, and it's the stupidest verdict, right? Everybody, it's like a charge. You prime and prime and prime and prime, and for the last God knows how many years, people have been priming, and then the little catalyst happened, a guilty verdict for shit that doesn't fucking matter. So now that charge has been given off, either positive or negative, because those are the only two options, positive or negative. How the fuck can that be harvested and collected now once that happens? Well, I mean, shit, dude.
It's biotech that I can't, and I know some people do explain it quite well, but I can't even begin to try to make it make sense to you guys because I don't have it fully making sense in my own head. But it is real. It's freaking Matrix shit.
Oh my God, dude. If we've talked about the scientist who had 2 jars of water, and he was spoken ill words to one and positive words to another, and then on a molecular level, after months, you could see a change. That is, when I first heard that, the first thing I thought about is the people who speak to their plants, and the plants grow better. I always attributed that to, you're expelling carbon dioxide into them. Carbon dioxide is what plants thrive on to create oxygen, all this. But I started to think, wait a second, what if there's something to that? Right? And we know what positivity does for all this on a global level.
Well, and scripture says the power of life and death are in the tongue. Our voice is vibration. It's frequency.
I wonder how much was put in the fucking stratosphere yesterday on 2 conflicting levels.
Yeah.
How much hate was spewed, how much.
Yeah.
And you know what, when you think about it, that when this, I've said this the other day, it was all over social media and Twitter. More crap of Trump being a racist, right? Oh, here's a tape of Trump being racist, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, right in the time when AI is progressing like crazy. You couldn't bring this up like crazy. And it doesn't matter how many times Joe Biden says it. It's like, I think they purposely want, and I don't give a shit. It's like, it's a fucking word. They want the word nigger to come back so hard so they can label everybody a racist, and they're gaslighting everybody to have this, I'm not racist, I'm not racist. And that's why they pump out so much black shit. They fuel the black community, which is so easily manipulated on emotional content. They riot, they loot. They're not held accountable for their fucking criminal actions. That is causing hatred, racism, and division from everybody else who's on, even if they're white. So you could see all this manufactured shit on the outside to create energy, hatred, division, but mostly energy that's hatred. I could fucking, I never thought about
fear,
that.
Yeah, it's fear, it's pride, it's all the. It's really, I mean, it's brilliant. It's an evil genius if you think about it. But I mean, that's why yesterday when the verdict came out, you know, I don't always win these battles, but yesterday, you know, by God's grace, I won that battle for myself in my own home because I didn't fall into the pit that I'm very familiar with because I did this a lot in 2020 and 2021 specifically, where I would go in the pit, I call it, is like this pit of despair and fear and oh my gosh, what's happening? And then like ravenously scouring the internet for answers so that I can make it make sense in my head and hopefully find, you know, like an angle, a perspective on something to reframe it in my head so that I can have some sort of confidence that it doesn't really mean what everyone on the mainstream is saying that it means, you know? And yesterday, I didn't fall into that trap. I really didn't. I was like, okay, I kind of expected this. Not going to let it bother me. I'm not really afraid of what this means. This is all a show anyway, what we're watching right now. I know exactly what they're trying to do with harvesting, and they're not going to get mine. So I turned on praise and worship music in my house, and I got busy cooking my husband Philly cheesesteaks for dinner and cleaning my house before he got home and like doing shit that matters in my ministry, you know, talking with my clients online, like directing your focus. Humans don't know how to direct their focus. They don't understand how powerful that focus is.
That's, I agree with you. And that's the whole, it's hard to be focused when you're confused shit.
Yeah. That's what they want you to be. They want to keep you confused so that you look to them for answers and hand your power over.
When you really think about it, Trump holds no bearing on my life whatsoever. He's a man I've never met, a man who does not know who I am, a man I will most likely never meet. And if he gets reelected in office, he's got another 4 years. I do think I do not see him setting up the next 4 years for being a kingmaker, right? All right, when I leave, this guy, you got to focus on this guy, this girl, this guy, this girl. He's not doing that. It's about him.
Not in the current system.
Right. Nope. So why should my attention be focused on, and I wrote a post about this today. I'm not voting on Trump for Trump's sake. I'm voting for Trump harder than fucking ever now because everybody, and that includes the dumbass liberals who do not see what they're doing, are eating our own.
Republicans that don't see what they're doing.
Oh my God, focusing on a man who's never going to make any fucking impact in your life. And that's how they've got us, is the lightning rod. And I don't know why that is. When you have social media, which teaches us and condones us to be self-edifying and constantly focus on narcissism, how do we just leave that instead of bettering ourselves and then focusing on one man? Instead, like Chris Zizzo, who's he's a good friend of mine, very big entrepreneur, fitness professional. Yeah. He wrote something today. He said focus less on the verdict and more on your business. And I'm like, 100% dude. This is all a distraction. They've got us really, really fun. And that's why yesterday I had my cigar. I went, 34 counts. That doesn't affect my life. The cul-de-sac didn't change. My cigar didn't burn out. I didn't burn my dinner that night. It's like fucking the dogs still are awesome. So it didn't affect me. But I just, I know, yeah.
And the thing is that they want you to believe that it's going to affect you. And okay, so like on a practical level, if when whatever Trump gets into office in November, we're going to have 4 years, or sorry, he gets into office in January, he gets elected in November. You know what I mean? We've got 4 years of maybe some better fiscal policies. Maybe he'll stop the war in the Middle East. And then in 2028, we already know what Agenda 2030 looks like. those of us who have been paying the fuck attention and not been living under a rock, choosing to be awake instead of distracted, which is a constant job, right? 4 years and we're right back here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a passing of the baton every 4 years. They want you focused on every 4 years at the big bird's eye view level instead of at the grassroots level, instead of at the personal level. Instead of cleaning your own house, clean your room, Jordan Peterson, make your husband dinner, have sex, make some babies. That's why, like, the only thing I posted yesterday that wasn't even about this, but it was about this, was on my stories, and it said world off, woman on. And I just logged off for the day.
What's the man's responsibility? Because how many of us men need to be fucking fired up and unafraid of this shit? And I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just heartbroken knowing how many people who are that wall, right? The thin blue line, just don't fucking get it. They don't fucking get it, and they're going to be against the side of the people. God forbid something happen.
I know.
Our own fucking military. I don't think people understand the oath that they swore to. I really don't.
No, and again, oaths, like talking about the power of frequency and our voice carrying vibration codes, creational codes. There's a lot that scripture has to say about making oaths to anyone but God. Creating covenants with anyone but God, or outside of marriage, the marriage covenant. So it's pretty interesting. I've been learning about the 7 covenants that God has had with his people, his bride, throughout history, all of human history.
Floor is yours. Continue.
I'm sure I'll be able to talk about more in the coming weeks because I'm learning about it, but it's really fascinating. And just, again, it's about reframing and putting things into proper perspective, about who we really are. All these distractions is keeping us confused and distracted and not focused on who we are and who he is. That's all it is.
I know. And that dangerously comes back close to, America's a Christian nation. And I just, it's not. Yeah. Thank you. Because my fear with that crap is, well, then does that mean Muslims can be here? Because I do not care who my neighbor is. I don't care if my neighbor's a devil worshiper. If Christ has his hand on that person's shoulders, he's going to hear him. End of story. Mm-hmm. And my job is just to be me. I do not have, and that's the beauty of this fucking country, is I don't want to agree with you all the time. I don't want to. Mm-hmm. I want to be like, dude, that's awesome. Great. And I've said this a million times. I live in the greatest cul-de-sac in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I've got liberals. I've got foreigners. I've got fucking Senator Tammy Duckworth. I used to say, I counted that. She's 5 houses away from me when she's in state. And I can't stand her policies, but she's a fucking war hero. She's a fucking hero who gave more to this country than I ever could. And it's like, none of that matters when you're offline because the hatred isn't there. So if we circle back to that, I'm going to say I think that social media, the purpose of social media was for energy harvesting. The purpose of it.
100%, Dom. It is a dopamine. It's a complete hijacking of the dopamine receptors in our software system of the human body. It is biohacking. That term is very interesting to me.
If you had a disagreement with, you got 10 people outside, you're all out mowing the lawn, smoking cigars. So-and-so says something. Great. Okay, whatever. You go back into home. You're not going to be bothered that much by Joe, the neighbor, and their liberal policies. But when you see nonstop, you go from Twitter to Instagram to Facebook to Spreely to where all these different types of, like a woman today on Twitter was hilarious. Log on to my Twitter, and I don't know what's a plant anymore, or what, because they
like a bot farm,
right? Yeah, they purposefully just say shit to get a rise out of you, and it's just nonstop on Twitter.
Yeah, I
here's
left
here's
Twitter years
Susan.
ago.
Oh God. Well, it's and they like it's our senators too. Our senators and congressmen and women. I don't understand why the hell they're allowed to say half of what they're saying inflammatory. They should be
because
mute.
they're part of it.
Yeah, that's fucking wrong.
They were planted. It goes back to where I stand on that. I don't believe they were duly elected, at least the majority of them. I think about 90% of people in Congress like that, or the House, were positioned.
Here's a
They were
woman,
selected.
Susan Gurley. I don't know if it's a fake account or not. 43,000 followers, and she's vote blue. All this stuff. She tweets out, "Oh my, why the fuck is my Twitter feed all MAGA? I don't follow any of them." Well, of course, when you write that, you get all of us swooped. I'm not MAGA, but it's like you swore. Hey, I posted in there Trump 2024. It's like
Right.
So I know they're purposely doing this shit, but at the same time too, we're also following for it.
Exactly. It's like on the chessboard when you set up a play and they fall right into your trap, and then you get to take their piece. Why are you sitting down at the chessboard if you don't know how to play chess? And that's what people do every single day. They don't even know they're sitting at a chessboard.
Yeah, that's damn true. That's damn true.
It's sad. It's really sad.
We're fucked, dude.
The zombie apocalypse doesn't look anything like what the movies have told us it would look like.
Dude, let's go already. I keep saying this. I'm 49. I've probably got a good decent 15 years left of fucking combatives.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 20. Do this now. Don't do it when I'm in my fucking 70s.
Yeah, I hear you.
What else is on your agenda? No, let's talk. No, let's stay on this for a second. Let's talk because we have to. I'm not going to end on shit. I'm going to end on problem solution. So the conversation you had with your friend yesterday who called up and said, we're fucked. How'd you steer that?
Well, her and I have like these 30-second conversations just all the time to just touch base, and it doesn't necessarily need to be like an hour long steering the conversation, but basically it was like, how fucked are we? And then I was like, are we talking about the same thing or did I miss something? And she's like, no, I'm sure we're talking about the same thing. I'm like, okay, yeah. And then basically after that, it was like, you know what? I'm not going to let it have my energy today. And she's like, no, you're right. I'm on my way to dinner. And I think it's really fucked up. And it's like, we're freaking Venezuela at this point. And I go, I agree. But again, this doesn't really surprise either one of us. We've talked about it. She goes, yeah, it's right. And I'm like, well, just don't let it have your energy. I'm not going to let it have mine. I'm making dinner to go in the crock pot right now. I'm going to clean my house. I'm putting on elevation worship music. She's like, I'm on my way to dinner. I'm like, just go have dinner. Enjoy dinner with your daughters. Like, enjoy it. Live. Don't let them have your energy. And we said, I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And we hung up.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what I did. I went and made dinner, and then I don't even know what the fuck I did. I relit my cigar and I finished that because I guess I've got.
And then there's an aspect of this where it's like you can go do something or be with people without actually being in the moment because your mind is ruminating and stressing out about something else,
so
whether it's Trump or whether it's your bills or whatever. And that has a hold on your vibrational body, so physically, like obviously, like going and choosing to actively participate in something productive is definitely a healthier choice than just sitting there and doom scrolling and stressing out about it. But if you're still not taking your thoughts captive and taking stewardship and responsibility over that domain, they still have their hooks in you.
One of the things is I'm where I'm at, and I purposely made that statement today about being willing to commit violence against domestic and foreign enemies. Is I have to make a stand. I have to. It's like I'm not a fan of the whole like lukewarm shit from the Bible and this and that. And it's like, because I know that there's times where I don't turn a blind eye to shit. I just don't condemn. I don't condemn people for their shit. I just don't. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to this, I have a hard time with drawing the sword and thinking fuck, what if I have to? Like, is God really sitting back there going, yeah, I want to see Americans fighting each other in my name? It's like,
No, God doesn't, but I'll tell you who does.
Satan does, but I don't want to be fucking. So there's my problem.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. So it's like, what do you do? Do you sit back with your arms folded and said, God's got this, right? That's inaction, right? But that's also faith, right? That's faith. But at what point too, don't you stand up and say fucking, wars are fought for a reason. He didn't say thou shalt not kill in the Bible. He said thou shalt not murder. So it's a real, this is a very, probably because we've had so much peace the last 100 years. I mean, yeah, get rid of World War II and all the wars that we didn't fight in.
We were in Afghanistan and Iraq for 15 years?
Yeah, I wasn't, right? I led a cush, comfortable life. Very, I reaped the benefits of what those with bigger balls were willing to do while I pussified and cowered at home. So when it's time to go in action, we?
At the same time, though, for example, like the Afghanistan-Iraq war, there's a whole rabbit hole there of whether that was really about freedom.
Go on.
Because number one, whose freedom are we talking about? And there's a lot of still unanswered questions as to what was even accomplished there that we sent our sons and fathers and brothers to die for in a satanic blood ritual for another energy harvest.
Gilgamesh's tomb, what? Nimrod's tomb, what? Yeah. We already know why they went there. So maybe, what's his name? Somebody was just, I saw a dated interview.
Again, before we move on. Yeah. So again, my point in saying that or alluding to that is like, you can't trust what they tell you about why we're going and doing anything, because it's all fucked. Like, how fucked are we? My friend asked me, like, oh no, it's way more than just Trump getting indicted. Like, this has been going on since the very, very early days of America. America tried to break free from this system and it followed us fucking here. So like, the reality is that we live in a world that is ruled by evil, and participating in violence for evil, even if it's been presented to you as good, is what we've done for war after war after war after war throughout history. It's been presented to people, and patriotism has been presented to people as one thing, so that they can get what they need out of you sacrificing yourself to their God. And you don't know any of that.
Do you think there's going to be now the alien hoax before the election?
I don't know if it'll be before the election, but I think that they're definitely setting the stage for like Project Bloombeam type shit. At minimum, if it's not actually like principalities coming to visit us, it's going to be a Project Bluebeam misdirection to make people believe that
I needed to
aliens are.
Thank you for reminding me that. That's something I didn't do. I need to define what the fuck principalities is. Definition.
Well, we're talking about a lot. I think a lot of what people refer to as like UFOs and extraterrestrials is actually the spiritual realm.
I didn't know that. The definition of principality, first, one is a plural noun. Principality is singular. The noun is principalities. Gotcha. Number one is a state ruled by a prince. Okay. Number two, the fifth highest order of the ninefold celestial hierarchy. So I never knew that. I always thought like principalities was just a softened word or a heightened word for the spiritual, but like energetic. It's literally a group of fucking demons.
Yeah. Well, and it's order. There is order to everything in this universe. And the way that we see like ranks and order in like our military command, for example, is patterned after God's order, the way that things are ranked, the hierarchy that he's established in his own kingdom. You've got archangels and the seraphim, and there's different levels to things. There's a hierarchy to things, and those angels, principalities, and archangels have dominion over certain areas, certain ley lands that overlay this realm. So in the spiritual realm, they have dominion over certain areas, certain territories in this realm. So do demons.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's army has the same, he ordered it the same way that God ordered his. There are generals, there are princes, there are quote unquote archangels, whatever that is, on his side of things. And his territories have certain rulers, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
That's what we're fighting against. And it's
some fun. And
everything that happens here is just a reflection of that.
I have to wonder how much we were been misled too by like fucking Hollywood and everything. Like when you have like Satan always being proposed as a
the CIA funded operation we know as Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's Friday. I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna lose hope, but at the same point in time too, there has to be action. That's where I'm at today. There has to be a willingness to action, and purposely I do things too as well too. I put as much as I can up on social media to hold myself accountable. It's like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like a David Harris Jr. who puts up "I'm hunting pedophiles" on his T-shirt, and then hey David.
Do you really though?
Yeah, you grab your AR. We're gonna go over to fucking the DCFS place over in the South Side of Chicago that's got kids there being trafficked. Oh well, no, I gotta fucking put my balls on the line if I said so. So I don't know. Do I want it to come to that? No, I don't, dude. I like the way that the world is. I like hang on a second. Let's see if this goes through. Yeah, I'm interrupting my oh, you son of a bitch. Call back, go ahead. Yeah, because we have the phones open. People, of course, got.
Oh, that's right.
It's a matter of what do you call it? Being followed. Put your fucking words where your actions are. Integrity. Integrity is everything.
Yeah, exactly. And hypocrites are not. People don't like to use that word anymore for some reason. But hypocrisy,
that's the one thing I don't want to be. I just cannot be a hypocrite. I am terrified of dying ever being labeled a hypocrite. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Won't do it.
Yeah.
Won't do it.
No, I agree. There's a lot of talkers out there, especially on social media. It's easy. And it's, gets you a lot of attention and makes you a lot of money if you're inflammatory. But then if you can't back it up, it's like if I said I squatted 300 pounds today, and then I never, ever, ever posted a video of me squatting 300 pounds. Well, I fucking can't squat 300 pounds. So why would I say it? That's exactly what they're doing.
I can.
Called lying.
I can. If you did call and you want to call back, we've got a few minutes left in the show. We'll be more than, because when I answered, it went beep, beep, beep. So that means that you dropped it on your end. You could call back.
Yeah, I heard that.
I know. Oh, shit. Let's go into the weekend, and I don't know.
I know. I need like a positive note, but I feel like we need to give people a positive note, but I'm also sitting here like I don't feel not positive, but I realize that what I'm sharing is probably really depressing for people to be hearing right now.
No.
It's not the energy that I'm sharing it in. So
it's not depressing, and there's no reason to be depressed over anything. If you get depressed over what happened with fucking Trump, you're idolizing the man.
Right.
And
True.
You can't do that. Like Trump's existence, the reason why I support him is he took one for the team massively.
Over and over again.
And Wow, he didn't have to. The guy could have lived his life on golden toilets forever and fucking stayed beloved. So what he did was, I don't like what he did to change politics because I think the sad thing is the Republicans are going to try to, or the MAGA crowd is going to want somebody just as intense as Trump after him, and no one's like him. It's just not going to happen. I don't want another sideshow fucking circus going forward. But what he did do is he exposed some real shitty things. So I thank him for that. He's not my fucking savior.
Yeah.
And that people can't do that. Oh, Trump. Like if you're crying over him, the guy doesn't get, trust me. I'm sure he thanks for your support and your donation, but your tears aren't going to make a difference for him.
No, the tears aren't making a difference. And like, he needs prayer. You know, I definitely, in my prayer time yesterday, I definitely sent prayer to him. But other than that, you know, it's like, I'm still sitting where we were in 2020, where it was like, we had that election stolen from us with him, and there's nothing that's been changed.
Nothing will, dude.
There's nothing that's been changed.
For the love of God.
Nothing's been fixed.
Obama wasn't even born here. Nothing's going to change about that. The one woman who could have verified, like we forget about all this shit, right? Chicago is just celebrating a Wayfair location open. And I'm like,
why are we still buying from Wayfair?
Right. I'm like, this is how stupid we are as a people. And so
why are we still buying Balenciaga and not me, but you know what I mean? Like, why are we still buying these freaking name brands and showing them any support whatsoever?
Wayfair cabinets with girls' names that are selling for $30,000. Yeah. You know. Oh no, that was a typo. What? Really? Yeah.
No, people. There's this guy. I'm gonna have to send you. I think you'd like him because he starts every one of his like. I don't know if it's like a masterclass style or what, but he uses like kind of like the guy that we both really loved, Rob Skiba.
Oh yeah,
slides, presentations, and stuff like that. This guy does the same thing. I just can't think of his name right now, but he's basically like a recovered Satanist and turned total patriot. And he doesn't like profess to have faith in Jesus Christ, at least not yet.
Not yet.
He's brilliant when it comes to talking about natural law and the way that things are structured, like systemically organized, and how Satanism plays its role. So I think like, you know, somebody that has that type of foresight, but the way that he always starts every single presentation is basically like, I don't give a fuck if I offend you. And he does what I do with my clients a lot, where he's like tearing apart the etymology of words and like why people don't know what they're even saying. And they don't even know the realm that we're living in because they don't understand natural law. And it's not necessarily their fault because we were all indoctrinated and brainwashed in the education system that the government ran, but it's all connected to keep you dumb. And he doesn't care about offending you. It's fascinating.
We need more people like that.
I will send him to you. I'm so mad I can't think of his name right now because he is really fascinating. But anyway, different, very different.
Okay.
But we need more people like that because it's the truth. And even if it's from a different perspective, like you're saying, living on a cul-de-sac with people that you don't necessarily agree with, but you don't have to, because it's not about being carbon copies of each other like we're all AI robots. It's about iron sharpens iron. And when you have different perspectives, different life experiences, and different stories to share with each other, it opens up portals into co-creative capacity, which is what we were put here to do.
Oh my God. I know. It's like I'm being directed towards that when all I want to do. And this is not the leveling up I want, right? I want my motorcycle. I want to go back to eating pizza. Working out. Okay, great. Yeah, it's getting a little bit harder as I get older. Time to get back on TRT. I've been off for 3 months. I feel the effect of it. Sleeping.
That probably has more to do with this than.
Yeah, maybe go back to being promiscuous. I don't know. It's like, no, you got to stand up and fucking, you know, let's go to war against principalities and your evil government. Fuck.
Yeah. Amen.
Do that.
And the way that you go to war against principalities isn't necessarily by shedding the blood of unaware, innocent.
See, why can't these motherfuckers, maybe I'm asking for the wrong thing. It's like have these motherfucking principalities manifest into like flesh and bone. It's like, yeah, now you're asking for like a 9 foot tall Nephilim to walk in. It's like, damn, how the hell am I going to beat this motherfucker?
No, then you're putting yourself in a David and Goliath standoff, which we both know that God wins, but at the same time, like
I'm going to take a beating.
Really want to ask for that.
All right, that one's going to hurt because if they want to sexually sodomize me upon their victory, you got probably a 30-inch fucking hog going to be hollowing me out. No, thank you.
The great equalizer is something as simple as a stone when you have the creator of all things and all of these beings on your side, which we know we do. So it's about, like, I would just leave everyone with the encouragement of, if you don't have clarity in your faith and who you are and who God is, please do some real deep soul searching. It's going to be hard gold mining work. But I mean, my DMs are open if you want some encouragement or some support in that. I don't have all the answers. I know Dom's DMs are always open for that kind of conversation. And it's like, that is the level of warfare that we're talking about here. I'm not talking about, yes, I believe in the Second Amendment and I train just for my own safety and the protection of our home with my husband. But like, I don't even think that that's the conversation we really need to stress out about at this point. Be ready in the 3D with a sword or a gun or whatever. Be well trained, be ready, but do the work on the 5D level, guys. Do the spiritual work, do the shadow work, and know who you are in God.
There you go. Words to end the week by. Have a great damn weekend, kids. It's just, it's not worth stressing over.
Yeah.
Fucking start preparing. There you go. Have a great damn weekend. Go out and help somebody today. And if you can't help them, do not hurt them. We'll see you guys next week.